All right, guys, how we doing? Sam here with you. It's Tuesday, the 16th of April. Now, I'm going to take you through a gold chart here. So this is my own choice because I want you guys to see this. Now, we're not going to apply any Elliott Wave here. The only thing I'm going to use here is our algo poles, our fib relationships, and some median lines. And you'll recall, members, of course, will recall, that I always tell you that the Elliott wave is not mandatory. It's optional. Now, is it useful? It's absolutely useful. But in order of priority, it would be third behind the fib swings, fib algo poles, as I call them, and the median lines. Yeah, is there a count on here? Sure. But I want to leave that out for I want you guys to see how pervasive this algorithm is in the market and show you that while God knows how many algorithms are in here. There's no way to know. But this one particular algorithm we can identify. Now, we don't always know how it's used. There's a little bit of trial and error trying to figure out what it did last. But when you get on, it will fire off a series. There will be a series where you can track what it's done last. Now, there are times where it's not to the tick perfect. There may be another variable or another technical reaction or technical tool, something else that may be in play. But this, I would propose to you, this is about as good as anything you're ever going to find. So I'm doing this in the gold futures contract, just happens to be where I'm trading it. You could do this you could use the CFD with an FX account and trade the XAU. This is the June futures contract here because if I want to focus over here on the hard right edge, but I want to take you through the sequence on the way up and then also on the way down. So for the bulk of this, we're going to focus just right over here on this section as it's absolutely astonishing. But then we'll also look at what's happening here as we go through this. I want you guys to really understand how powerful this is and what an advantage you have over anyone else who's not using it. I don't. Maybe no one's shown them. Okay, so I'm just going to go off of the low here. Let's see, is this my low? Yeah, we'll use this low. Now, it's a little spotty over here because I'm using June futures contract rather than the CFD or the continuous contract here because I want to show you over here. So remember, we know that they like this pattern, this alternating pivots pattern, this kind of A, B, C. It's this retracement right here that they like, right? That's one we know. So if you have a straight swing that fails, so for example, let's see if I can find one here. Here's one that fails, right? So that's the first thing I'm showing you is one that fails. So here's one that it hits a 50 and it doesn't get there. So that algorithm would get stopped out here. But I want to show you that if you were trading that, the way you've got to approach this is you've got to go back a pivot. So because we know they like that pattern here, I'm going to use the low that I get here. Okay, so here's the first one coming off that sequence where you can see this ABC pattern that they like, and it's this one that they like. Now note as it goes right into the golden zone, here's the target right here. Right? You see that? It's to the tick, and there's the reaction. Now, amazingly, we keep going. So they're going to be multiple targets here. Here's the second target. It goes just a couple of ticks through to get it. Third target, a couple of ticks shy, front run maybe, and then we get up here, we get through it. Now, along the way, of course, there are going to be other plays within the midst of it. So there are so many in here that the harder part is for me to remember all of them. So I think we have this one here. So I'll just kind of use it this way. So here we go, we get right to second, we get third target, ultimately get fourth target. So this sequence it starts a sequence of algo pulls. All right, so we start here. Now there's one to the tick, right? So we come down. So we've had this one, then we get this one, then we get this one. Here's first algo target, reaction, second algo target, reaction, third algo target, reaction, fourth algo target, reaction. All right, we keep going. So we pull up here and we go, oh, that's too shallow. So what did they use? Right? So there's always a question of what did they use? Well, so here we can see it's a perfect tick to the 38. Maybe they used that. Is there something else they might have used? I'm going to go to the most recent one that I can find where I know that it was technical. So I know this is a technical pivot. So here we come a couple of ticks shy of the golden zone here, and we get reaction almost second, ultimately get third target here, damn near to the tick. That's a couple of ticks shy of it. So we just keep going here. Get this right on here. So we'll use this here. Okay, so now you can see it again, right? So it just continues. So here's the swing. Here's the, well, get this right on there. So here's the series of swings. Here's the retrace. Here's the 50. There's the target. Now it gets through a little bit. Let me open this up a little bit so you can see this. So we're going to get over to the hard right edge. So you look at that and you go, huh, wonder why it's not right to the tick. Well, as I said when I started here, it's almost always a function of something else being in play. There's a reason. I would propose to you, there are no random pivots in the market. All right, there it is. Okay, so what we have here is a corner pocket. All right, that's why we get through the golden. That's why we get through the target. There's an algorithm going up to get that median line. Right, so perfect corner pocket trade. Reaction. Look at the reaction after tagging that median line. All right, here now this gets really interesting. Okay, so coming off of that, right, we get that big reaction. Now we have the potential, because you'd be looking here. You've had this. Now you'd be looking here to see, is there a reaction here? This is the dominant swing. So we come down between the 50 and the 618. Can't get there. Rolls over. So we have a reversal of the trend, right, as far as the algorithm is concerned. Now, there may be something here relative to some prior pivots, but we'll get there in a second. So as this comes down here, now we've got to look for the algorithm on the other side. So can we identify it here? It would appear that's a front run on the other side, getting to target, second, third, all the way, fourth target to the tick. Right? Is that what they use? Again, as I'm trying to point out, it's always a bit of a search, excuse me, to try and find out what they used. So if we're looking here and we say, oh, okay, it's front run. Boy, that sure went far. So you'd be pulling here, looking, okay, where are they? What did they use last? So I would typically, I'm going to look for the last swing before it starts coming down. Okay, so there we have that. Now, take note what happens here. So so here's our last pivot. Here's the dominant low. As we come up here, we go into the golden zone. Comes down. All right, so we are, well, amazingly, look what we just hit. But so we get denied here. So remember, there's always an algorithm competing on both sides. So you can look on the other direction here. So if we go here, all right, what do we see here? So let me pull this one off, right? So you can see this was a perfect golden zone reaction, but it's denied target. So remember, there's going to be an algorithm on the other side. So is this what's happening here? Again, this is a little bit of a, we're trying to figure out what they did. Well, here's a perfect algo pop right there. So do you see it? It hits the algo target, little reaction. It's got more legs to it. So is this possibly a slight front run, or did they run into something else there? Well, remember, this is always the conflicting story you have here, right? So what'd they run into? So do you see here, we don't quite make it to second target. Let's see if I do it this way. So from here, here's the swing, here's the 50, here's the target reaction. It's got more legs. Here's second target. It gets denied by the algorithm that's there selling at this spot, right? Do you see that? Now, that algorithm has a target right here, but it's denied. Right, so it's this constant battle back and forth between algorithms. So right now, the last thing we can see is that we've got a series of buy algorithms that are in play. So now we know this was technical and the last one was technical. So here's the one that we see. Right? So here's the one. Sorry. So here's the one from the 50 goes to target. Now I keep going in that sequence. I go to the next high. Get it right on there. Okay, let me open this up so you can see this a little better. Okay, so here it is. Perfect tag of the 618. Right to target. Right, you see it? Reaction at the target. That's how we know it's an algorithm. Okay, so this is a perfect swing pull. All right, now we keep going. Okay, now what are they using? Are they using this? Right, so this would be a little bit shy. It's a little bit of a search and try and find it. What did they use? Right, it's a little bit of where's Waldo. Okay, what do we get right here? What did they use? So well, here's this. I try to show you this every time I can. So this pattern, this A, B, C pattern, it's the next retrace we know they like. Now you look here and you say, oh, well, there it is. Okay, I see it. So here's the swing low. Here's the move into the golden zone. Here's the target. You go, huh, denied the target, right? It's a little bit far for a front run. So you got to look at that and go, what else could have happened there? What else could be there that it might have run into? Well, remember, there's always an algorithm on the other side, right? So if I grab this, go down to my low, what does it run into? Right? Golden zone from this algorithm. Constant battle, one algo to the next. Now, look at this, what this algorithm has just done. Right here. What's its target? We going to get there? Well, I wouldn't bet against it, but I'm going to show you a few other things along the way here. So I'm looking here. So this is I should have told you this. This is a 60-minute chart. So you may or may not have, stayed through this entire period here. But just note, right, the algorithm doesn't care, right? Its algorithm's just going to stay short. It's just software. It's just going to stay short until it either gets stopped out or it gets that target. So this algorithm is still in play. But there are multiple algorithms that are in play, all the way through this here. The same algorithm. We don't know who's behind it. We don't know how many people are using it. We just know we can identify it because it leaves this footprint. All right, let me just keep going here to make the point. So we know this is one that I want to show you. Now pay attention here. This is an absolute must-take trade. So when we pull from the dominant swing here, okay, this is worth, if you're watching this is worth the entire price of admission. Okay, now this comes down here. As we see this kind of defined break, we have a dominant swing here. We get a clear break. So this algorithm that's right here, that's working off of the dominant swing low to swing high, is broken. What's the next trade? Okay, this is a must take. Now, there's a little bit of nuance here, and this comes from having done this for a long time. I'm looking for the last pivot before it went down. Here is the must take trade. Here's the last swing before it goes down. Here's where we broke through. Let me get it right on there. Okay, this is the must take. It's once the algorithm is stopped, it's going to take the next 50. So here it is. Here's the swing high. This is right before the breakdown. We come to the 50 to the tick. We get the target to the tick. This is the trade. If you did nothing else but look for that trade, right? After the algorithm break, right? You've got to know where that is. You got to find that. That's a must take. Now, it didn't go straight to it, but that's how we know it's an algorithm, right? Do you see that? It's tick to tick. There's no possible way that's random. I promise you guys, it's not random. Okay, that is a perfect example of this algorithm in play. I probably just took you through 15 perfect examples. So now you look here and you go, okay. Now talk about a reaction. Look at the reaction upon hitting that target. Well, where do we go? Well, now remember, right? So it's what did they use last? Well, let me just show you this coming the other way. So this looks deep. Nothing's perfect. It looks like this algorithm here. I get it right on here. This guy here, looking to be a buyer here. You can see the little reaction to the 50 stopped out. Right. So we keep looking. What are they using here? What we know, this is a significant pivot. This seems too shy. Are they using this next one here? As that looks like on a smaller time frame. That's the pivot. There it is. All right. So here's the 50. There's the target. They got legs to get through it. So you look there. Let's see. Do you guys see that? Let me open this up even further. Do you see this? Well, let me show it to you. Okay, this pivot right here. So from this low to this pivot right here. Do you see it? Here's the 50. Get it so you can see this here. Here's the trade. Here's the 50. Here's the target. Okay, keeps going. It gets all the way to third target. But here's the 50. So I know I've got a technical pivot there. That's why I'm using that. So I come up to this 50. Now, what are they using? All right, so this was a 50. Here's the trade right here. Okay, do you see it? So from the 50, plenty of it gets through. So you look there and you go, Right? That's just as I showed you. Why does it stop there? So let me pull back out, right, as I just showed you. Why does it stop there? always a reason, runs into this algo on this side. Now, right, so you can see what happened there. Where are we going? Absolutely. Well, so we're not done yet. So what do we have here? If I put this on here, what do we have here? Golden corner pocket, right? So it's already reached the median line, right? So here we realize the 80% from the median line of tagging pardon me. We realize the 80% probability that within the confines of these three parameters, with a golden corner pocket, we have an 80% probability of making the median line. Well, it makes the median line a little hesitation. It's going through. Why? Right? Remember, there's no random pivots. Why is it going there? Oh, shit. Right, we're going. It's after that target. It's going to stay short until we get to that target. Now, if it gets through, there will be lower targets, of course. Right, we'll have the secondary. Look where that third target lines up, right, with the edge of the median lines. All right, so right now I'd be anticipating some sort of a reaction here at this target. But now, so I understand what's going on here and where we are in the sequence. Do you see that? But so the couple of things that I wanted you to really focus on. It's the break and then the first 50. That was this trade here. This one that went tick to tick. That's a must take. When you see the first time it breaks, then we go back to the 50. That's a must-take trade, right? Just over time, that will compensate you handsomely. So I thought that was it was so pervasive here and so just remarkably technical. No Elliott Wave. Not that it wouldn't be helpful. I'm just trying to show you it's not essential. You don't have to be an Elliott Wave master to be able to make money in the market here. This is what is essential. So in order of priority, the fib swings, the median lines, then we look at the Elliott Wave. What's after Elliott Wave? Well, we might take a look at some oscillators, but that's the last place I go, never the first. All right, so I thought that might be worthwhile just to take you through that, and I would encourage you to pull up, any chart. Any asset class, it does not matter. From crypto to FX to S&P to equities to soybeans to crude, it does not matter. This algorithm, you're always going to find it. It's always in the market. All right, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here as we hit that. But what a beautiful golden corner. All right, guys. There it is, laid out for you. Keys to the kingdom. That is a license to print money. All right, guys. Talk to you later.